Be'ezrat Hashem, we are Pasuk Kaf Dalet. Ora Chaim lemala lemaskil. The way of life is upwards to the maskil. Yeah, to the intelligent. Lemansur misheol mata, so that he is protected from going downwards to Sheol. We know what Sheol is. We've addressed Sheol many times. Says the Gaon, says the definition of Adam is holech, is someone that is constantly dynamic and moving. Yes, to the difference of the malachim that are called omdim, standing. Okay, so says the Gaon, a person has to have the the motivation and the desire to always go from step to step, from level to level. Why? Because Shlomo HaMelech says that if you don't go upwards, yes, if you're not a maskil, if you're not intelligent, and your way of life is lema'ala, to go up, so by default, then the person will go down. So says Shlomo HaMelech, there's no stagnant situation. You cannot stay at one level. Or you go up or you go down. You can never stay at one level. And that's what Shlomo HaMelech says. Whoever is intelligent, who has his sechel, yeah, who lives his life with intelligence, with his sechel, with his mind. So he understands that he has to go from level to level all the time. And that in order not to fall backwards and go down to the direction of Sheol. So all you have on one end, you have a direction going up, which brings you life, or the opposite, which brings Sheol. What's very interesting here is that the natural force is to go backwards, to go down. If you don't pedal forward, you go backwards. Yes? You could say no, you go naturally forward unless you actually proactively go backwards. Yes? But that's not the case here. Here, if you don't go forward, there you go backwards. That's how the Gaon reads this pasuk, which is very interesting. Why? If we go back to Adam HaRishon, yes, Adam HaRishon didn't have to do nothing specifically, yes, to do the Tikkun HaOlam. All he had to do is follow what HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, or don't do nothing. Yes, in order to bring kilkul, he had to be proactive. He had to eat from Etz Da'at Tovara or from Etz HaChaim to transgress the will of Hashem. So before the Sechet Adam HaRishon, yes, the de facto was positive. Think about it. Adam HaRishon, did he do a mitzvah to be zochet, to be in Gan Eden? He didn't do nothing. He was put there. That means that the nature of man, yes, before the sin, is in positivity, is in greatness, is in Gan Eden. That's our potential. That's where we belong. Elamai, you have to do avera to go backwards. Here, Shlomo HaMelech says exactly the opposite. Right? What is he saying? If you don't paddle forward, you automatically go backwards. Right? Meaning, if you don't do nothing, you fall mata she'ola. Therefore, you have to be maskil. You have to have sechel in order to go forward. This is the tikkun of the head of Adam HaRishon. Since the sin was happened, everything went backwards. Now the de facto is to go down, and we have to move forward proactively. And how do we do that? By using our sechel, by using our intellect. Exactly what Adam Arishon did not use when he sinned with Chava. Yes? So essentially, the sechel that was given to us just to keep growing naturally towards positivity, because that's what was supposed to happen. Yes, Adam Arishon was supposed to stay intact, and then he entered Shabbat, and then that's Tikkun HaOlam, Kol Tov Yafe. Adam Arishon did not use his sechel. Isha Shamatata Imadi. What does he say? The wife. That's the sort of the question. Ayeka. Hakadosh Baruch Hu tells Adam Arishon, Ayeka, where are you? Makavana Ayeka, where do you belong? And we know from the structure of the Agada of Pesach, right? Why do we have question? In order to trigger the Sechel to answer. Ayen, what are Hidushim on the Agada? Yes? So that when you ask question, you trigger the intellect to think. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Adam Arishon Ayeka, he's triggering the Sechel. Meaning he's saying the sechel that you didn't use, now I'm asking you, what, yes, to use it, to be mafil it. So the tikkun of the chet of Adam Arishon is the haskala, is the intellect, is using the sechel in order to bring ourselves back to the level of chaora Adam Arishon ifnei hachet, to each in their own ways. This is why the gravity pushes us backwards, naturally, instinctively.
Before it wasn't that way.
That's what I just explained. The opposite. Adam Arishon, when he was put in Gan Eden, he didn't have no Yetzer Hara. He was only going forward. He would have waited, do nothing, zero, and Shabbat would have entered. It would have been all positivity. So what do you see? Adam Arishon was naturally going forward. He had
Gravity
to be
too also.
proactive to do Avera to start now doing Kilkul. What?
Gravity also was like today they push you down.
No, I'm not talking about the physical gravity.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about the pull, the force, the spiritual forces. I mean, that's a good point.
But if negativity, it means that negativity is has higher force than positivity.
No, it just means that we are more sensitive to it because of the sin that lives within us.
Okay.
It's normal, yes. When you have two of the same forces, they attract each other. Yes.
But in potential, they are in equilibrium, or is one stronger than the other one?
No. No. The Vadai that the positive is better than the negative. The Baruch. It's just that in order for Adam to have the free will, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the negativity to be sensed like the positivity in order to be able to make a legitimate decision.
Okay.
Good? Yeah. So comes Shlomo HaMelech and tells us, you have to be careful. If you don't go forward, you go downwards. Bottom line. Pasuk Kaf He. Bet Geim.
Before we go on, sorry.
Yes.
Essence of the message is essentially to continue to seek out chokhmah, and translate it into binah v'dat and use our sechel to continue processing this information so we don't go backwards.
Correct. Essentially, is being a bar da'at.
Okay.
Yeah. You can be me'ayin in the shurim on the Pirkei Kinyan HaDa'at, on the definition of a bar da'at. פסוק כ"ה. בית גאים יישא השם. הקדוש ברוך הוא tears down the house of the arrogant, of the proud. Not the arrogant, of the proud, of the game. בעל גאווה. ויצב גבול אלמנה, and it will establish the limits of the widow. The limitations of the land of the widow. Says the Gaon, this is coming to address a behavior of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem oseh mishpat la'ashukim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does justice to the underdog, to the one that is being pushed, and bullied because they are weak. That's the klal. So he says, Bet Geim, who are the houses of the proud? He says it's like the behavior of Nebuchadnezzar. That is very apropos. Yes, that decided that he wanted to go and be mahriv the Bet Hashem. He wanted to go and destroy the Bet Hamikdash. That's also representing Haman. Bet Geim. Nebuchadnezzar, he said, but in Yeshaya, Ale el bamoteav, let me go and stand on the clouds, and I will make myself a divinity. The definition of ga'ava essentially is someone that wants to take pride and benefit from a quality it doesn't own. That's ga'ava. So when you make yourself believe, yes, and you pretend that you are someone that you are not, and you impose that identity on society around you, yes, you are gavtan, you are someone that is proud. Says Shlomo HaMelech, Bet Geim, the founder house, yes, of those people, of the Geim, Yisah Hashem, get uprooted, get destroyed, uprooted. Edom is called Bet Geim. All the Galuyot, yes, they're called Bet Geim. And the Bnei Israel, the underdog, that is Vayatzev Gvul Almana. HaKadosh Baruch Hu protects, yes, the limits, yes, the boundaries of the Almana. The Almana by default is what? The definition of a widow is someone that tasted the taste of security and protection and lost it. To the contrary of someone that was never married. Yes? So an almana, a widow, is someone that felt once protected by her husband, and that protection was taken away from her. Bnei Israel, we were once protected. We once had the shmirah from HaKadosh Baruch Hu when we went out of Egypt during the midbar. during the Knesset of Eretz Israel, yes, during the time of Bet HaMikdash, and eventually that all this will be taken away, was taken away. So we are considered an almana, we are considered a widow. The vulnerability of someone that has been protected is much greater than the one that never enjoyed protection.
When were we fully protected? With Adam Rishon or Bet HaMikdash?
No, 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 forget Adam Arishon. When we got out of Eretz Israel, of Egypt, of Mitzrayim, we were fully protected. During Dora Midbar, yes, Ananikavod, the man, Be'er Miriam, we were all protected. Yes, Matan Torah, we were mekalkel. Yes, we messed up. We messed up, and we're paying for that price until today. Tisha B'Av is because of the Chet of the Meragelim that happened also on Tisha B'Av. So we lost that level of protection. HaKadosh Baruch Hu again wanted to give it back to us. So the definition of Am Yisrael Almana is someone that have experienced the pleasure and the comfort of being fully protected, to being fully exposed and now at the mercy of someone that can use their strength for their own benefit, and bully the almana. Since we lost the Bate Mikdashot, right, and even before that, yeah, I mean, we deserved it, like we read in Midrash Echa, in Echa, yeah, the Bnei Israel messed up completely, and that's why the Churban happened. Nachon? We went from being fully protected to at the complete mercy of the Goyim. Yes, and that gave the Goyim the tendency and the instinct to bully Am Yisrael until today. Yes, Yimach Shema V'Shem Zichram, and I say it out loud. Yes, after October 7th, instead of the world seeing the emet, here today, yeah, they're rewarding the Palestinians of Hamas. They're rewarding every terrorist on the planet to continue and do what they want. Yeah, like the one of the senior leaders of Hamas, yes, that he said, if today we have France, England, we have Canada that stand by our side and say that they will announce that a state of Palestine at the UN in September, it's because of October 7th. He says it clearly. So explain to me what's the logic in that. Elam, what is it? It's simply what Shlomo HaMelech says, right? That the ge'eh, yes, the proud, naturally imposes, yes, his strength and leverages his koach on the weak in order to benefit, even though he doesn't deserve it and he doesn't own it. That's exactly what's happening. They don't deserve, they don't own, but because they know how to leverage the power, they use the power against the weak. So throughout history, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yes, decided that we would have goyim that will always be the bad goyim and we will always be the almana. Until what? HaKadosh Baruch Hu protects, yes? And at the end, v'yatzev gevul almana. At the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu always ends up protecting us. We do teshuvah. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu cannot leave the almana, yes, vulnerable to the point where she's being crushed. Same thing happened with Aman Arasha. Now, the Gaon says something beautiful. Shlomo HaMelech used the word Bet Ge'im. Bet Ge'im, yes. Bet Ge'im. Ge'im is Gematria 53. Nachon? Ge'im 53. Ge'im is 53 is exactly the number of time the word Haman is written in the Megillah. Bet Ge'im, the house of Ge'im. Who is the house of the Ge'im? His kids, the 10 kids of Haman that were hung. So Bet Ge'im, the kids of Haman, Yisach, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will uproot, will destroy. Yes. Now, if you look at the the lashon in the Haggadah, when we said aseret bnei Aman, you have 10 letters. Aseret, 4 letters. Bnei, 3. That's right. That's 4 and 3. That's 7. Haman, 3. It's 10. Against the 10 sons of Haman. Aseret bnei Haman, the 10 sons of Haman. Yeah, that's what it means. And that's why Vatas et Mordechai al bet Aman. Esther appointed Mordechai on the home, meaning al on their kids to accomplish exactly that pasuk v'yatzev gevul almana. That at the end Haman and his family tried to destroy the Bnei Israel. Hakadosh Baruch protected Mordechai, yes, the gevul of the almana, like the Bnei Israel at that point were the almana, and ends up putting Mordechai on top of that, So here there is it's a message of hope. It's just incredible that it's we're learning about it today, because today it's also the Churban, as we all know. Yes, like Rabbi Yohanan says in Masechet Ta'anit, that if it wasn't for the takana of Chachamim to do Tisha B'Av on the 9th, he would have made the takana on the 10th. Why? Because most of the Bet HaMikdash was destroyed by the flame on the 10th, not on the 9th. But since the Pur'anut started on the 9th, yeah, the fire started on the 9th, therefore we do it on the 9th. But comes Shlomo HaMelech to tell us, although it's true we are in Almanah, yes, although it's true we are in Almanah, but because the Goyim, right, those Reshaim, come mikoach ha'ga'ava shelaim, they come from the power of ga'ava, of the pride, which means what? They come to use, yes, a power they don't own and they don't really have. They're only bullying. At the end, the siyata dishmaya that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has for the almana, for the one that was once, yes, under full protection and is no longer, that vulnerability of the almana is what protects the boundaries. Meaning, if the almana doesn't need the protection because she doesn't behave like an almana, and she thinks she's fully protected, that she's not an almana anymore. She's not an almana anymore, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need to get involved. I mean, if the Bnei Israel, yes, they rise to think that they can be gavtanim, they can have ga'ava also, or they think that they're self-sustainable, then then we lose the benefit of the definition of the almana. However, if we continue to be the almana, and the almana, when she's under stress, what does she do? She cries to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and that vulnerability, yes, grants the Bnei Israel a tremendous yata dishmaya of protection. Good. Pasuk Kavav. תועבת Hashem מחשבות רע. Okay? Bad thoughts is an abomination to Hashem. Uthorim imre noam. And sweet words and words of pleasant words, yes, are considered pure. Says the Gaon like this: when a person has machshavot ra'ot, when he has bad thoughts, even if the bad thoughts of the thought of the rasha, even though they are bad thoughts for another rasha, so you would think it's not bad thought. Yes, it's if you think bad thoughts about the rasha, it's not bad thought. But because this is a rasha and he's always thinking bad, even the thoughts for someone bad that shouldn't be bad, considered as bad thoughts, to avat Hashem. They're considered as an abomination to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So your nature and your constant determines, yes, how HaKadosh Baruch Hu will approach your thought process. If your constant is positive, then we will see. But if your constant is negative, then even when you think negative about someone negative, it's still considered negative. Where if your constant is on the positive, utorim imrenoam, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the words of the pleasant words, even though they are close, they might be considered hanufa. Hanufa is Hanif is to to put to massage. How do you say hanufa? To when you exaggerate about to someone and when you try, hanufa. Hanufa is when you try, you embellish things. Somebody comes to you, he wants you to give tzedakah, and he says how great you are and how smart you are and the best you are.
Flattery.
Flattery, yeah, flattery. Yes. So, uh, even words of flatter, which lechaora are not good, yes, but when somebody has a constant that's positive, in the eyes of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, it's still considered good. They are pure. He sees the purity in those words. He doesn't see the twist of it, of the flattery. I think here Shlomo Melech is also revealing something very important. That lechaora, there are situations where what we do are not purely right or purely wrong, but they can be viewed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu or right or wrong, depending on us, not on the actual action, not on the fact. So if you are full of pure and you're good, even if you sway, yes, in the way you say something, and it might have in it, okay, a little bit of impurity in your words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will focus on the purity. But if lo alenu, the person is bad, even when he says something about someone that's bad, that should make it right, that he speaks bad about somebody bad, because the person is always bad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will focus on the bad. Very important message. Good. Let me explain to you why is that. If your essence is good, yes, then the foundation and the inception of what you say is good. It might get twisted along the way, but its foundation, its essence is good. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu focuses on the essence. But if the essence of the person is bad, even if there's a twist of good to it, because the essence of the person is bad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu focuses on the bad. Pasuk Chaf Zayin. עוכר ביתו בוצע בעצה. Whoever steals or makes a gain that are not the right way, gains money in a not normal, in a not proper way. Okay, עוכר ביתו, yes, destroys his home. עוכר, or makes his home dirty, to be more exact. ושונא מתנות יחיה, and the one that hates gifts, יחיה, will live. Botzea Batza, says the Gaon, is someone that makes money that he doesn't deserve. Money that is not his.
What does that mean?
That means he steals money. He gets money that he's not supposed to have. Money that's not his. It could be holding back his maaser. It could be stealing from someone. It can be, you know.
illegal activities, or are we talking about?
Yes, 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 yes. So what's the end? גם ביתו נוטלים ממנו. He ends up losing even his home. אבל הנוטל מתנות, whoever lives from presence, אינו עוכר את ביתו. He's not losing his home. אך מחמת שהוא מצפה תמיד למתנה, but because he lives off presence, so he's always dependent on presence of people, and if he doesn't get those presents, so he's bitza'ar, he's sad, because he didn't get what he was hoping to get. So he's not enjoying life. Therefore, ושונא מתנות יחיה, but whoever hates gifts and toils to earn his gain, yes, يحيى, he will live, he will enjoy his life. The God says, Hayav Hayim, his life is filled of life. He benefits from that independence and from that, and he gets rejoiced from the pleasure he gets from his from the effort of his work. So we have three categories. Category number one, the guy that steals and benefits from money that's not his. Lo alenu, such a person, yes, everything gets destroyed and taken away. Then on the other hand, you have the opposite. He doesn't benefit from nothing, from nobody. He enjoys the quality of life from his independence and the pleasure of enjoying the fruit of his hard work. And then you have that guy in the middle that doesn't work but benefits from the presence and the gifts of he lives off the gift of people. So on one hand, he didn't take money from illegally, again, but also he didn't work for it. Yes, so he creates a dependence on those gifts, and since those gifts come not because of a reward but because of a goodwill, he's always dependent on the goodwill. And if he's dependent on the goodwill, yes, the moment that he doesn't get what he needs or what he wants, yes, ubetzar, because now he's up in the air. So the unknown, yes, the unknown, although he lives his life in somewhat a level of pleasure because he doesn't have to toil to earn that money. It's a gift, yes, but it comes with an unknown, and that unknown is so big that it takes away the chayim of his chayav. He doesn't enjoy his life. So one lives a dead life. It's just a question of time. The other one lives life, and the other one lives but doesn't live life. כן? פסוק כ"ח. לב tzaddik, the heart of a tzaddik, יהגה לענות, thinks, yes, before answering. That's the lev of the tzaddik. Ufi reshaim, and the mouth of the reshaim, yabia raot, yes, answers, bursts out raot, bad things, evil things. So the tzaddik, says the Gaon, by default, he needs to make sure that from his mouth there's no sheker that comes out. That is the barrier between him and anyone standing before him. No sheker will come out. Therefore, if no sheker will come out and I have to answer, I must use my sechel, I must use my logic and think on how can I give the most appropriate answer without lying and also not sharing what I don't need to share or not saying what I'm not supposed to say. That's the definition of the communication of a tzaddik. Because I cannot say a lie, therefore I need to think of what to say. So, Lev tzaddik yehege la'anot, the heart of the tzaddik constantly, yes, thinks and analyzes on how to give an answer.
What? Why doesn't this say Lev Chacham rather than a tzaddik?
Why would you say chacham?
Can a Chacham be smart about how he speaks as well?
Yes, but the definition of a tzaddik, the chacham, you can have, it can be chacham. That doesn't make him. Chacham is potential. Yes, tzaddik is action.
Tzaddik is after he put it through.
But tzaddik is the version of a person interacting and doing applying something. Chacham, it's a potential. It's focusing on his chokhmah. So it's not enough that you have a lev chacham yehege. Yes, because at the end you need the answer, and when you answer, yes, that application is already by the tzaddik, is by the definition of tzaddik.
The tzaddik is the one. Okay.
However, the mouth of the Rasha, upi reshaim, the Rasha speaks fluent nonsense, sheker, whatever comes out. They don't even think. They just vomit an information. Just says whatever that comes to them. Yabia raot, yabia says the gaon milashon novea, like a spring of water. Okay. Yes, it just comes out naturally with force. With force. The difference that the Gaon is highlighting here between the Tzaddik and the Rasha is in the importance the person gives to his words. If your words are important, you'll make sure to be careful about what you say. But if your words have zero importance to you, then you're just gonna bring out, download whatever goes through your heart and through your head. That difference differentiates the tzaddik and the rasha. And pay attention, there is again a difference between the tzaddik, which is singular, and pi reshaim, which is plural. The tzaddik is on his own. The tzaddik focuses on his own responsibility. Bishvili nivra olam. The world can be destroyed because of me, and the world can be saved thanks to me. So the tzaddik lives a very singular and lonely life when it comes to his responsibility to the klal and to society. But the rasha, yes, is completely irrelevant if he's not amongst reshaim. So the rasha feeds off the public. his rishut. That's why pi reshaim. Pi is lashon yachid. Reshaim lashon rabim. We should say upihem shel reshaim. The pi, the mouth. Because there is a common denominator of all the reshaim is that all need each other, okay, to feed to feed their mouth. So it's one mouth for all of them. That's the common denominator, is that all of them use their mouth to exist. So the mouth of the Reshaim is what keeps them alive. Where the lev, when the tzaddik lives within himself. That's why it says the lev of the tzaddik. The lev is internal. Nobody sees it. It's private. It's personal. So the tzaddik lives on his own. He's with him and his heart, because he carries the responsibility. Where the Rasha doesn't pay attention to his lev. What gives him legitimacy and an identity? His mouth, right? But to who? To other Reshaim. And that so what gives the Reshaim any sense of existence is their mouth. So, and that only comes through Reshaim as a klal. By the way, usually Reshaim, they're always surrounded with people, and Tzaddikim, they're always alone. Pay attention, you'll always see that. People that need a lot of noise around them, and and the opposite, people that are tznuim on their own, nichvim el hakelim. These are the tzaddikim. Tov, Be'ezrat Hashem. We just finished Pasuk Kafret. Any questions on this Pasuk? Tov.